Super Summer Sizzler workouts 4 and 5 are on a running clock. For time, 50-foot barbell front rack walking lunges, 25 bar-facing burpees, 15 thrusters, and then 25 feet barbell overhead walking lunges. There is a 6-minute time cap. At the 7-minute mark, workout 5 starts. A 2-minute AMRAP of front squats, 255 for the men, 170 for the women.
And now, let's watch the Big Salchicha and Lauren demo this workout with commentary from Mia and Brandon.
Really, we haven't had many fast Sizzler workouts. I guess maybe workout 2 is fast for some people.
And she's off.
Yeah, so this obviously starts with a 50-foot front rack. Say that 5 times fast, Mia.
Front rack walking lunge, front rack walking lunge, front rack walking
Wow,
lunge,
you're
front
way,
rack walking
you're
lunge, front
way
rack
better
walking lunge.
than I am. I can't say it one time. So this is obviously a pretty heavy load for both males and females. She takes a break there. I think that's smart. Like, even if you know you can go 50 feet unbroken, just drop it real quick, relieve some of that tension, pick the barbell up quickly, and then get back. Try to get it off your shoulders as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there's not a ton of time to be one on the first lunge.
Totally. There is a lot of time to be one here because over the course of 25 burpees, even if it feels like it's not like, some workouts maybe have 50 or like you think about 20.1 where there are 100 burpees in it. There's a huge separator there, but even with 25.
It's a big percentage of the work.
Totally.
Here.
So if you can average, let's say 2.5 seconds per rep versus 3.5 or 4 seconds per rep, you're making up a lot of time. And in a workout that's this short, if you can get ahead on the burpees and you kind of know where everyone else is at, let's say you're racing people in your gym, it's a good way to just make sure you're always staying kind of one step ahead.
I will say, if the thruster load is something that is going to bottleneck you, then there is something to pacing these out a little bit.
Oh, totally. Now, for Ashleigh, she is very strong. Do you know what her 1RM thruster was in the open?
She thrustered 220, I believe.
Yeah. More than most of the guys.
And it looked like really good.
Yeah, and you'll see here in a second, she makes this look good as well.
Yeah, she's very, very strong.
Yeah. So for her, I think
overhead.
it makes sense to push the burpees a little bit. She knows that the thruster, even though the thruster will get challenging for her, it's still light enough that she can move the barbell the entire time. And look, if you need to take breaks in the thrusters, you could still go fast in the burpees and then do a couple sets of thrusters, and that may actually play out to be a little bit faster than going really slow on the burpees just so that you can do unbroken thrusters.
So her footwork changes a little bit. She's starting to do an extra step as she's turning around to get back down to the ground. If you can play with that in your training and get to the point where you never do that, even under fatigue, because it's not actually a place that's going to save you energy.
Yeah.
If you're going to use more steps, I always tell people use it on the way up from the burpee, not on the way down to the ground. So something to just pay attention to what you're doing and see if you can clean that up and save a little bit of time there.
Yeah, that's great advice. If you're going to add steps, add it on the way up. But I would prefer everyone just have the same footwork on the way up and down every single time.
Sure.
You could see how
sometimes
easy
things happen.
Yeah, I totally agree. You could see how easy. Now, obviously, they're getting a little bit harder now, but her first 5 or 6 reps it looked like a empty barbell. For most people, that's not the case. And to be able to go straight into the lunge is super impressive here.
Yeah, absolutely. For people who can't go unbroken, I would time out the end of your thruster set so that your final thruster takes the bar overhead and you go straight into the lunge just to save that extra clean and jerk rep at the end.
So like something 10, take a break, and then do your last 5 into the lunge so you're not picking it up again.
Right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So she is fast and she is done.
Yeah, so there is a 6-minute cap on this part of the workout, and she did that in less than 3 minutes. I would say that most people will actually be much closer to the cap, and we have another athlete that's doing it behind her right now. She's still on the thrusters. So you're watching an elite level athlete. Ashleigh was a semifinal level athlete. She was actually close to a game spot.
Yeah, she was
this
only
year.
a few spots out.
Right, so just keep that in mind when you're thinking about how to pace this workout, especially with how heavy that barbell loading is.
So you're going to change your own weights, and you're going to go up to, it's a 170 for the women, correct?
Correct. And 255 pounds for the men. And it's a 2-minute AMRAP when we get to that 7-minute mark, which we'll go ahead and move to here in a second whenever Chris cuts the camera off.
So Ashleigh, I don't know what her max clean is, but she thrustered 220. I assume it's significantly more than that. So that's something to keep in mind as you are watching how she handles this barbell.
And she, honestly, I thought she handled it really well. She's not as strong as Ashleigh is, and she was able to get the barbell overhead. She broke her thrusters up in a couple sets. I mean, it's super impressive to see someone else be able to fight through that maybe isn't as strong. All right, so now we are getting to the 7-minute mark. For someone that's flying through this, right? Ashleigh did it in 2 minutes and 58 seconds, something like that. She had a 3-minute rest before the cap and then another minute rest to change her weight. So 4 total minutes. That's a huge resting time
yeah.
compared to
Should
where
be
most
pretty
people are.
recovered
Yeah.
here.
So just, again, keep that in mind when you watch how fast their first couple sets are. So this is just AMRAP front squats in a 2-minute period. Mia, what would you recommend for someone that this is a heavy percentage?
Yeah, so something like a front squat or a shoulder to overhead where getting the bar into position can be difficult, especially if it is a high percentage for you. That's a tough clean. I would definitely try to hit big sets. I would think like an AMRAP -1, -2, so stopping about 2 reps before you would get really grindy, and then take your break. Try to stay to a certain rest break, so whatever that is, 20 seconds, 15 seconds, and hit another big set. I would just keep doing AMRAP -1 or -2 and just kind of hold on until my speed gets slow.
Yeah, I think that's a really good strategy because 2 minutes actually goes by pretty fast here. Like, you're not going to be just flying through the front squat. So a rep is, maybe 3 or 4 seconds by the time you're grinding.
I mean, she's already at a minute and she's done two sets.
Yeah.
So.
And so I think that if you think about it as like, oh, I'm going to do small sets and try to take short breaks, it's just so much effort to get the bar back to your shoulders, especially at 255 or 170. To Mia's point, it makes sense to just kind of grind out until you're basically 1 away from failure, then take your break, 1 away from failure, keep moving that way.
For sure, and be aware of the clock. So not taking, if you're getting close to the cap, you might just need to hold on even though the reps are super grindy or slow. Just don't waste the time. If you're not going to be able to clean it again, just take a 3 to 5 second break with it on your shoulders and get 1 to 2 more reps if you can.
Yeah, I think that's a really good strategy. Ashleigh just looked at the clock, so she knew that she probably had a couple more in, but she wanted to take 1 more break and then try to finish with like 10 or 15 seconds so she'd get as many more as possible. So if you're at the 8:30 mark here and you want to drop it, then just make sure you pick it up soon so that you can get as many in to finish out the workout.
And final seconds here.
And I don't know what the total rep count was. It was well over 20 there. So good luck, everyone, trying to crush that score. Good job, guys.